well into new welcome box. As the team moves forward into the next day and into new horizons, your team has more or less given their all to learn and to acquire a few new skills within the first 2 days before the storm approaches. Now in the third, with new skill sets ready in motion, some enjoying their nights with another individual, and others just enjoying their nights with drink and food. Over the course of a few hours, you did get your rest. You did long rest, and with the last prevailing day into the approaching storm, this is where you begin. Service has already tried to say to some of the people, "Hey, why don't you get underground?" And they've already told you guys that they will uh, once it hits nightfall, as these guys usually deal with storms. Maybe not to the events that you have seen beforehand, but they have dealt with storms beforehand. It's a common occurrence, although maybe not the Scarlet storms heavily, but they have happened and they have taken care of things from time to time. Whether or not you want to make things worse, I'm not saying make things worse. I'm saying, like, if you want them hysterical to go faster, you could technically do that. But I'll leave that up to you as we start the session. Just you guys preparing for the day.
Oh, we eat breakfast first. I give a wink to Lana. And I suppose we'll get up and leave after we finish. I suggest that we perhaps go to the Traveler. What was that place that does the letters?
The messengers.
Messengers.
They're called the runners, but yeah, the messengers. You can just call them.
Letter.
Yeah, so I wanted to know if we got our envelope, our message back, and I want to see about the dagger. I wanted to give it a warning and see about perhaps go ahead and placing our lightning pole.
Do we know which direction the storm is coming from at this point? I forget.
The storm is close enough, not close enough to actually be hitting the city, but close enough that you can see it from the city. It's coming from the southeast west, west direction, further out inland. You can tell that it will arrive within the night once it, completely hits night, but not within this day.
I'll ask my horse to come near the front gate and just wait for me there. I'll just telepathically tell it.
All right, I believe you still have that link up. So unless the horse somehow explodes, it will be by the front gate.
Thanks. So, runners?
Definitely, yes. Let's go to the runners.
I just need to roll intelligence save.
I think you did it last time, but okay.
Did I? Okay, I don't remember. I guess
no, wait, I don't think you were able to. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't remember. I guess I should write it down. Hello. Boop. Uh-oh.
Turn into a demon.
Nope.
Turn into something. I hope.
Let me check my notes.
It's on my character sheet.
Okay, that'll be far more helpful than that. I thought I was unable to make your character sheet. Well, your token. I'll make your character sheet right now.
No worries. I'm not. It's not a big deal at all.
I think it's under Deidrenath. It's under Deidrenath.
Okay. Kaithal, there's a new character called Creature. If you want to adjust that, you're more than welcome to. If not today, then some other time. You're more than welcome to do it whenever you want.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Let's see here. Jalen, I cannot find what you're talking about.
Look under traits, under Deidrenath. I wrote it all under there. Right, cover features and traits. That's
Oh,
where
okay. I think I
I'm
found
at.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know if you want to narrate it. I can uh, say maybe something what happened. Yeah, maybe.
sure. Because I still can't find it.
Well, sorry. I'll tell everybody what happens in a minute. We can just keep going though. It's not a big deal.
Okay, because I honestly can't find it, which is weird. All right. Something happens to Taylor. Unfortunately, I can't find it, so it'll still happen, and Taylor knows it. For some reason, it doesn't show me it. We'll figure that one out later. But your team does eventually head out. Taylor, a little bit. They don't seem, oops, to be the most right of rain. As you make it back to the Runners Guild. You were there to begin with, so it wasn't that much of an issue to track you down once more. I don't know why Service has a token. Service stop moving icon on, but it's gone now. Okay. You do see some runners here and there doing their business. After all, not everyone can speak with you. When you said you just come here to visit without any other things, they sigh and just tell you, "Don't cause any trouble."
I did tell them I would like to speak to the person who we sent for the message to the guy at the observatory.
Yes. The individuals that you usually speak with, she does tell you that they're currently on a run right now into town, but it'll take 5 minutes before they get back.
Did we receive a message back?
She does state yes, but he currently knows the whereabouts of where they are now.
Oh, so it's going to be verbal. I thought it would have been a letter.
She doesn't say one way or the other. Service is possible it's a letter, but he probably still has a letter on his person.
All right, I understand better now. I thank the person.
They go back their day and once again advise you to please don't cause any trouble.
All right, I look over to the dagger, and I'll tell it. Later this night, a crimson storm is coming. You might be in the statue here might be in danger, so keep your guard up. I say this in Celestial.
All right. You say this is Celestial, and over the course of time, you hear nothing. You do know that the thing inside is more or less inhabiting the blade. If it can hear you, it has received the message. If it can't, well, then it does not. You've only ever heard it speak in Celestial, so you only know that much. Honestly, that's basically all you know. Whether it can hear you or not within the blade, you don't know.
Hey guys, we have this lightning rod here. Should we perhaps place this here somewhere, or should we choose one of the other two places?
Might be worth just holding on to it until things actually start and placing it near where we are. It's I don't
That's
think it's gonna do
very
much use
true.
here.
Oh, by the
Yeah.
way, before I forget, I think there might be a couple of potions of cold resistance at the potions shop still. Did you guys go and get one? I have one.
No, I did not get one. I should get one right now.
I think I made it 100 gold, and since I gave Cerberus such a great deal, it's elemental resistance. You don't have to get it, but it's there.
I'm broke anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't actually think I have enough gold to be honest, but
I'm
that's
fresh
cool.
out- I'm fresh out of gold too. I just thought I'd make mention of it.
Yeah, unfortunately, Helping out the gods sometimes doesn't pay well.
Yep. Well, I guess we'll wait the 5 minutes for the person to get here.
All right.
Well,
Uh,
anyway, so in the morning, like normally, Talon wouldn't be one of the first people out. Like, well, he doesn't sleep much because he's an elf, but he'd be out in the morning, usually having a little bit of his pipe and having early breakfast. But like this morning, like you guys didn't see him, and like when you guys did see him, like he just looks like pale, like doesn't look like he got like any rest at all. Like just it looks like I'm sick. Like I just look like something. Looks like I'm like drained. Just like I'm like tired.
And I thought Severus was the one that had the rough night.
Yeah. So, like I'm kind of like like looking like squinting at the sun. It looks like I'm like like hungover and stuff. But like you guys, if you were looking at me, which I doubt if you were unless you were close to me, but like I didn't really drink much more than normal. But anyway, if anybody asks me, I'm like, yeah, I must have drank too much. I don't know.
Yeah, Talon does look a little groggier than you're used to, which is a little odd, but not out of the ordinary due to the amount of training you guys have been doing. Maybe Talon's body just couldn't keep up with the amount of time, and then all that gambling. But coming over here and seeing if they can shake it off, still looks more or less like that as well. It's not encumbering him, but it is a little daunting. Looking at the statue, given the advice, you don't know if the advice is heard because it's in a dagger form, but it is there, and it would be able to heed your call, perhaps. But over the course of time, over 5 minutes, someone does eventually come over. They speak with the person that you were speaking with, and then soon after, they come over towards you.
Ah, you must be the older brother.
Sure. Not knowing what you mean by that, obviously you would, but he doesn't. Anyways, looks towards Talon. I was advised to give you this message. And here's the second one as well. Giving 2 envelopes.
Thank you very much. I hand him over a silver piece for a tip.
Much obliged. He does nod and then states, "Oh, do you need anything else, by the way? I'm likely not be able to get out of town since we're going to go underground tonight. But if you want something delivered within the town's range, you're more than welcome to."
How far and often do you run? Do you have a good idea of the land around here?
More or less, yeah.
Perhaps you can give us some insight. We're hoping to do some looking ourselves during the storm that's coming, and we want to make sure we have a good, solid understanding of what is around here, or when it starts to hit.
Mostly nothing. The reason why this city existed in the first place is because people decided to... They didn't accidentally get lost here, but something called them here. Some people believe that it was the statue itself. Some other people believe that it was the sacred stone within the temple halls of the cemetery. Others believe other things. But due to the whole tundra situation outside of the city, there is really nothing to hide yourself in. Unless you can dig into the sand, dirt, and snow without an issue, there's really no getting around it. It stretches out for a couple miles. Talon Tolwyn, I'm not sure. I'm going to say everyone because it's honestly everyone. When you were traveling, that was what it was. It was basically flat land until you found those 2 weapons, then, forced. And then afterwards, flat lands again until you reached the town. There might be a few rocks here and there and a few trees here and there and, some flowers that would be accustomed to the area, but nothing so prominent you would not be able to hide behind something or weather the storm behind it, which is why you can see a storm a day out from here.
Do you know...
That makes sense.
Go on.
No, I just said it makes sense. Sorry.
Do you know of any places nearby that might be of interest? Like maybe some long forgotten locations, buildings, old places, or maybe legends, cursed places, things like that?
Looks up at the current statue. I know that this thing is sometimes called the guiding beacon to most. I know that there is something called the Magi stone in the library. Some travelers use it to imbibe their items, or at least they believe to imbibe their items with magical foci. Uh, there's the blessed statue. No, sorry. He wouldn't know it by a different name. There is the trickster statue in the cemetery. The sphere thing. There's the Mage Underground system that someone created a long time ago. I don't know who, though. You're going to have to ask an archivist for that. Other than that, there's the old dragon skeleton in the bar. He tells you the bar location, and it's the bar you're staying in. That's all really I know.
All right. Thank you. Last question for you, then that would be it from me. What is the process necessary to go underground if, after we've spent as much time as we want gazing at the storm, would it be impossible to go to the underground?
It wouldn't be impossible, but you wouldn't be able to come back up without the key holder's permission. As no one that we don't really want to lose people, and sometimes people get antsy. So there is a locking system where once you go back down, you're not able to go back up unless the key holder allows it. If they somehow die, then the key is presented to someone else magically.
So we can always go in at any time.
Yes, as long as you know one of the openings. He does write something down and then hands it to. I'm gonna say he's right next to you, so it would make sense. He hands it to Kaithal. This is one of the location openings.
Thank you.
Okay. I will tuck it in my pocket. Actually, I'm going to show it to everybody first and then tuck it away.
Yeah, you show it. It's
So that everybody's aware.
It's like a back alley area, 3 streets to the left of here.
Thank you. Can't believe I've forgotten to ask something so simple. Just one of those simple things, you just expect to know and just pass it through your mind without thinking about it.
Of course.
Happens sometimes. Well, I think that should just be about it from me. Do you guys have any questions for him?
I do not, personally, no.
No. That's all Dylan says.
All right.
I don't.
Right. Again, not an archivist. The only archivist I know in town is the mayor. If you want to speak with them, you're more than welcome to. He does give you a small address. They're usually never there, but if you find him in the streets, he gives you a detailed description of the person. And they look like this. They're not here now, but they look like this.
He looks a bit like a douche.
He's really the only one that decided to take up the mayoral position. It means he can't travel anymore. So, kind of grumpy about that since he was a traveling bard for the longest time. He is also the key holder right now. Although, even if you tell him he looks like a douche, he'd still let you in. Grumpily, of course. Alright, do take care.
I feel a bit of pity for him. He looks like a douche, but he apparently has a degree of importance.
He lightly, the man you know as the brother, lightly chuckles and then heads out. His name is Daniel, by the way. You guys would have known that a while ago, but you guys never asked, so it didn't come up.
So, should we go to the library, or which one's closer, the gate or the library?
Honestly, neither is too far out. You would only be spending like a minute more to go to the entrance versus going to the library.
They can go to the library, and I'll go to the entrance. I have a few minutes worth of talking to my horse.
Or splitting up. That's cool too.
They won't be able to understand them. Only I can.
That's true. That's very true.
Why don't you guys look for the mayor if you see him along the way? I will as well. And talk about that mage stone and any other information you can get at the library.
Okay, will
Seems
do.
good to me.
I'll meet you there after I'm done. I just wanted to get some extra information, and I know my horse has been out there for a while, so I thought I'd ask him a couple of things.
Your horse
Okay.
has been there for a couple of days. Obviously, they haven't been like sticking around waiting to be fed. It's more like they've been around, coming here and there, making a passing by movement while also just living life. In the meantime, Shade, Vera, and Connie are currently doing a few things. After you guys approach, Connie does look towards Kaito and then states, "Oh, there you are. All right, you ready to learn?"
Absolutely, I am ready to learn. Are you ready to teach?
That's looks towards Vera. Is he serious? I think so. Yeah, that's kind of why I asked.
Okay, then let us learn and teach, and I will follow you.
Okay, the first thing we want to do is learn how to use a matrix core into the integrated system of magical fields. I'm sure you already know this. You have, your canine companion with you.
I pull my pencil out from behind my ear and feverishly start writing down everything that I can, everything I possibly can.
Kaithal, go ahead and roll Arcana. With advantage because the first thing she's teaching you, you already know. Well, you have
Okay,
a
all right.
general understanding of things.
Okay, Arcana.
Oh,
I'll
nice.
take that.
So the first thing you want to do is make sure that everything is functioning properly and you have a core system of engineering as well as technology embedded into the system's matrix, as well as having it provided your own strength into the core itself, as you may not have magic abundantly around you. So the best way to do that is to functionally create a more or less tethered connection with something similar to a familiar. And then she goes on to a different topic and then states, all right, she takes little small samples of tools here and there, some metallic structures here and there. All right, the first thing we want to do is try to create not life, but a connection with these things. This one starts a fire and this one starts a clock. I want you to activate them in a distance range. She tosses them over towards Tolwyn and Talon. Do you guys try to catch it, or do you just let it hit your body?
I catch it.
All right.
If she throws it at me, I'm not gonna catch it.
You
Well,
catch-
is it looking important?
It looks like a brown cube made out of wood and maybe some weird metals.
Then
It's basically a clock, but I don't know if Talon would know what a clock is.
yeah, okay. I was gonna say I might just chop it out of the air. I guess I'm not that much of a dick right now. Okay, I'll grab it.
All right. Tolwyn, do you grab the other instrument, which is basically a fire starter? Tolwyn might be MA for a second. So let's say Talon grabs it. Both grabbed without too much of an issue. Connie a little worried that they would have fallen. She then looks towards Kaithal and then states, all right, now prick your finger and make sure that you hone this symbol into your mind. And then you begin to write it into the back of your palm. Do you prick your finger, actually? Or do you use, ink or something else? Okay. You do so, write the sigil on the back of your palm, and it begins to glow vibrantly. All right. Just try to focus and connect your binding with the other two items. They have the sigil on them, but this time you're using your own magical essence to connect with these two. All right, Kaithal, this was more of a intellectual connection than anything else. I want you to go ahead and roll anything you believe you would use in an intellectual manner.
Because we are speaking about magic, and I am proficient in that. I'm also proficient in nature, but I guess that doesn't really have anything to do with what we're talking about.
It could potentially, if you spin it enough.
Sorry,
Okay.
I lost voice connection there for a minute. I'm not sure what's going on.
Oh, Kaithal's taking his training session right now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's not bad. Kaithal, you're able to commune and connect with these two items, and they begin to click. And in Talen's other hand, the fire begins to ember bright, heavily. Looking towards this, she goes, "Oh, not bad. All right. With this, you should be able to do not everything, but a good amount of things. Huh. All right. She begins to write something down on piece of paper and then hands it over to you. All right. And then this one, and then this one, and then this one. She continues to write things and keeps handing them to you until 5 minutes later you have about 5 pieces of paper.
All right. I'm trying to look at each one of them. I've got them fanned out in my hands like a deck of cards.
When you do so, they're written in what appears to be, oh man, I'm blanking on the word, Sylvan. So you're obviously able to read it, being part of the Feywild. And on them, they each have weird pictures that are animals, and then words. One of them reads the eyes of an eagle. Another one reads the feet of a deer. The other one reads the strength of a bear. Another one reads the finesse of a fish, for some reason. And the last one reads the skill of a human. Noid. I should probably change that. The skill of a humanoid. And then she does state, all right, if you're able to connect with these small pieces of paper with the same symbol and tutelage, you would be able to temporarily enhance your own abilities or the ability of someone else. This is known as scrying finite paper. The scrying part involves you connecting with it, and the imbibement paper involves you imbibing it into something or someone else.
Okay. And do I just hand the paper to someone, or this symbol on my hand, will it automatically do what I wish it to do?
If we had more time and more training, the second one. But since you're just starting on it, you do seem natural in it. But you would need to roll a few times on Arcana to fully connect with the symbol. The way it's written on your palm, it's just to remind you of what it looks like if you can't fully grasp the topic at hand.
I see.
But you'll have these for now to practice with. And as long as you get a 15 in Arcana, she says in-game mechanic terms, not out-of-game mechanic terms, you should be able to activate them just fine. The eyes of an eagle give you dark vision as well as devil sight. I don't know why. It just does. The strength of a bear gives you a 18 strength. The skills of a humanoid advance each of your skill sets by a +1. These are all temporary, by the way.
Gotcha. I think. Okay.
The swiftness of a fish grants your speed up by ×2. And do you remember the last one I found? I mentioned.
I did. I had eagle, fish, humanoid, bear, and I missed the last one.
Eagle, fish, humanoid, bear. Man.
Oh, deer.
Deer. That's right.
Feet, hooves of a deer.
And the hooves of a deer will grant you proficiency and expertise in acrobatics.
All right.
Each of them lasts for about a minute.
Okay. Connie, I very much want to thank you. I have learned a lot. Is there anything that I can do to repay you?
No. Vera just said to help you guys out since you were trying to save the city or something.
We will try. We will save the city.
Okay. At this point,
And when I do, I will proclaim it in your name, Connie, for helping me learn this.
okay. Says nothing else. In the meantime, Vera does speak with Talon and Tolwen. Talon, the clock and the fire is still in your hands. They're not burning you or doing anything. They're just there. If you want to put them down on the table, you're more than welcome to. But Vera does come over towards you two. Do you guys need something by chance?
If you have any information on the weapons of life and death, that would be most welcome.
Not a You really bring just the random topics I don't study. Well, the only information I have of weapons of life and death are. One moment. 10 minutes later, comes back with a book. This is the only information I currently have, or at least read about. The weapon of life seems to be a symbolic symbol of life essence and its transference between mortal and man. Immortal and man. It seems to have a connection with the very structure of what gives life to the world. And vice versa, the one of death does the same, but in the opposite. No surprise there. They both seem to have a symbolization of both life and death. One being imbued with life and the other one of death. Similar to how... well, have you ever heard of weapons that can speak with their wielder or commune in a different way than normal? They're considered living weapons. Have you ever heard of them?
I don't think I have, but this world is full of wonderful things.
Right. Well, it's a more advanced state of that. Living weapons are quite strong, but they usually give off their own feel and movements and points of views. But living weapons in the state of life and death would be able to advance from their current state. It's what they would be in. If the mythology does stand true, they would be granted and given the wielder powers beyond normal mortal means, such as reviving someone without I suppose the best way would be phrased it in this book. She shows you the book, and it does state, current records currently depict that the weapon of life is able to wreck someone without the necessity for current components and or spell ability. From what I can tell, it does mean that you're able to revive someone without necessarily knowing the spell Revivify or something similar of that nature.
Fascinating. Thank you very much. This very useful information.
Sure.
Very interesting.
There really isn't that much found in this book. The only other topic I can find on these two weapons is the one of death. She shows you the book again, and it does read. Current information on the death weapon is unavailable. However, some people theorize that the death weapon itself is able to bring someone to the brink of death once the individual is unconscious, be it the state of sleep and or unconsciousness due to trauma and or damage.
Well, it seems quite lethal, and probably very dangerous.
More than likely, yes. And that's something
Well,
I would
thank you again.
want to hold myself.
Precisely. Well, thank you very much.
Of course.
Have I at this point learned the spell from them yet? You say we've been working on it. Am I still working on that or no?
Coming over towards Vera, you basically state, "Hey, can I learn the spell yet?" And she said, does state, "Oh yes, of course." Tayden, go ahead and roll intelligence and then Arcana. I think it's the two you used last time. Intelligence, whichever one you decide to, and Arcana for the actual casting. Nice. Looking for the Ember Flame inside your heart once more, you're able to locate it and harness it with a connecting force once more. It then drives in and out of your stomach and then into the palm of your hand, where you try to focus and channel it without it hurting you or burning you. Go ahead and roll Arcana. Well,
Not so good there.
it's not great, but you are able to finally harness the fire within your own elemental structure of magic. So you are able to do that just fine, but when you go to release the energy without it burning your skin, a small ember flame does begin to char your skin and you take 1 point of damage. As soon as that happens, though, you begin to release it and then let it go. Vera then states, "Not bad, but the last part seems to be troubling. Are you ready to go again?"
Yeah, I think I should try that one more time. I think I messed my finger up right there. The incantation. You see that? I think I know what I did there. Let me try that again.
Of course. You no longer have to try to draw the fire within you because you passed it last time and today. So 2 out of 3, you did it. Good job. But you just now need to pass the final Arcana check. So casting the fire, bring it into your palm, you're able to do that, which is fine.
It's a check, right?
The last one is
Kayathal.
Arcana.
Kayathal. Assist me with your device, please.
Oh, of course.
It
And my little
could potentially work, but Vera does
Quit being
state.
so selfish and use it on yourself. Help me over here, Kayathal. Pay attention. You're always you always got your head in your books. You're never paying attention to me.
You don't
I'm sorry,
call
what was
anymore.
that? What did you say?
I said, Go ahead.
A little clockwork hummingbird flips over and lands right on your shoulder.
Thank you.
And you have guidance.
I might need it. I'm gonna roll a d4 here. Let's see what happens. Pew! 16.
Not bad. You're beginning to able to draw out the flame once more. I believe last time you
Thank
passed
you,
it once and
Kayathal.
failed it 2 times, so this time you passed it once, so it's
Yeah.
2 out of 3 successes, so you did it. Vera was going to warn you, if you did not pass, it's possible that your body would reject the second step, so you would have to go back to the first to relearn it. But you passed it without with flying colors, so good job on this part. After a while,
I
you
knew it
are
all
able
along.
to now harness the power of the spell you have learned, which I believe was
Burning hands.
Burning Hands. Thank you.
Burning hands, yeah.
The skill set for Burning Hands and Heat Metal were the same in my notes, so it's a good thing you remembered.
Yeah, heat metal's better. But I don't wanna break the system more or less, you know?
Yeah.
I don't wanna Anyway, and I kinda wanted something like, because I have the ability to hit and attack at the same time, or use a spell and attack, so I want to like hit with my sword and just be like, hit, boom, like,
Very fair.
flames,
But you guys, Kaithal and Talon, you both did learn your skill sets. Kaithal, in order to get more of those papers, you wouldn't need to speak with Connie, but you are able to
I
now.
have papers, bro. You could just ask me. Oh, my bad.
These are magical papers.
Talon puts them away. My bad. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Kaithal, you are now able to. It's weird. She wasn't teaching you to try to learn this to focusing on this piece of paper specifically. It's more of she's trying to allow you to commune with mechanical constructs or machines rather than anything else, which is interesting. So Kaithal, you are able to small scale commune with constructs, and Talon, you're able to cast your new magical spell.
I
Colin,
would also ask
you're
about
there.
like the living weapon, like as like to comment on that, like like I don't know, like like anything like to like help fight like possession from like a weapon or like a living weapon, like once it's wielded and things like that. Yeah.
It honestly depends on the living weapon itself. In most cases, if the wielder is not able to connect with it in a natural state, the weapon would try to take over or try to lean them into their own will and understanding. My advice is to not pick up a weapon that is not into the same alignment you are. or at the very least, not willing to work with you. If there is a way of
real quick.
unpossession, I'm not aware of it.
I believe my will be sufficient. As I'm sitting there like breathing hard, looking all sick.
I'm sure if you find one.
I'm fine.
Kai, I thought you were saying.
Since we're on the subject, did you say that chakram was a living weapon or had a sprite inside of it?
I did state
Did
it
I
was a
hear
living
that
weapon and had a sprite in it.
Okay,
It's not the same
Alright,
as the weapon of life and death, but it is still strong.
right. Yeah, that's fine. I wanted to make sure because now, that being said, I want to try to commune with or talk with the little sprite inside when I get another time or another chance.
All right. More than likely before you guys go to sleep for tonight.
Okay.
All right. Kaithal, you learned your new skill. Taylor, you learned your new magic. Tolwyn, you were there, but asked good questions.
Yay!
Wait a minute, do I get to have a thing?
To
I
the
wanted-
horse!
But I thought you said my horse was kind of on a. Never mind. Continue.
I thought you went to the gate. If you didn't, we can
was-
go back.
It was the horse, and then I wanted to go to the library too.
To the horse and then to the library.
To the horse.
For
To the
some reason,
library.
I didn't hear wanted to go to the library as well. Eventually, Cerberus, you do find your horse without too much of an issue. I'm going to say it took a while because it makes more sense to try to line everything up correctly. So it took a while, even though you technically probably could have found it earlier. And the horse does rear its head back in. It's not in the gate system, but you are allowed to bring a horse in if it's tamed.
Hello there, my friend. It's good to see you again.
It does a whole neighing thing, but in your mind you do hear common. You as well.
How has it been? And we're about to have a bit of a fight, as you can probably tell. Out there, it's getting rather stormy. It's apparently going to be one of those crimson storms, so I thought I'd check up on you to see what new information you may have come across during your time out there.
The only new information I found was that no current living creature has been located within the first mile radius of this town. And 2 individuals are heading towards this direction and will arrive by nightfall.
Were those individuals not normal?
Cloaked in shadow. Shadow probably in horse speak, meaning like cloak. So they probably couldn't see the face.
Probably not a good sign then. Alright. Well, the storm is approaching, and I don't want to see you hurt. I could break our bond and send you back to the Feywild, if you like. Or you can run off of a couple miles away if you don't want to be in the epicenter.
I am not from the Feywild. My ancestor was. I belong to the Erinshara tribe.
Oh, my apologies.
It's quite alright.
Well, if you desire to stay here, please by all means, but the storm is going to come, so be careful.
I do not know how to fight.
Yeah, I know. I'm telling you that you can leave if you want. You don't have to stick around if you don't want to.
Kaithal, when you talk to people like that, just kidding.
Not
Kaithal, Cat one or Cat Service.
Cerberus. Cerberus more or less make a persuasion check. I know you're not trying to persuade the horse, but I don't know what to do
Trying to
here,
be
so I'm
nice.
gonna make it your persuasion. Yeah, I know you're trying to be nice. Okay, 11's not bad. The horse neighs towards you, but in horse speak / common, it does state, I am not a fighter, but if you ever need a ride or a stallion once more, you're more than welcome to speak my name and call me once more.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to hear that. I take it subconsciously that means to go ahead and break the bond. So, and what is your name, my good stallion?
Fenrir. Fernia. Oh, wait, that's different spelling.
Dope.
Fernir. Fenrir.
Stallion Fenrir.
You can give it a different name. Honestly, I'm not good with names.
Very well. Thank you. I reach out, I assume subconsciously, and break the bond so
You-
he can go back.
Break the bond, and they begin to slightly turn transparent, and then click away, hoof and toe, until they are completely gone from sight. You know that Fenrir, or wherever you decide to call him, because I am more than willing for you to change
Just call
that
him
name.
Fenrir.
Yeah, Fenrir. That's fine.
Fenrir's cool.
Comes from the Ironshire tribe, which is a horse tribe from formerly the Feywild. And that's it.
Oh, I go back to the library.
To the library. Where are you, map? There you are. At this point in time, Cerberus does make it in time before everyone leaves. I'm going to say at this point, Talon, you just learned your magic, and Kaithal, you just finished your studying, and Tolwyn finished getting their answers. Potentially.
Should I mark off some spell slots then, since I was like practicing, like what? 2 spell slots, I guess, since I tried twice.
No, it's just whether or not you succeed or fail.
Okay. I didn't know if I should have to over.
Like, you didn't have the magic, she's trying to teach you the magic, so you can't really lose something you don't have.
Okay, that's fair.
It's the way I see
I'll
it.
take it. I'll take it.
If I was being mean, I would more than willing to
I
get
bow
out.
to your
Get this
logic.
out.
Let's move on. I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
It makes sense to me.
So Cerberus comes forwards, looks towards you. I don't know why you had 2 birds.
Lady Vera and Lady Connie, it's good to see you once again, as well as to you, Sir Shade.
Shade nods in turn, currently reading a book. And Connie just looks towards you and goes, "What?" Vera then just states, "Don't worry about it." Okay. Then goes back to teaching Kaithal. Do you need something, Mr. Cerberus?
A few questions, if you wouldn't mind, to clarify a few things. And a warning. I had a compatriot, Sir Fenrir, of the... What was the tribe called again?
Aaron Shara. And Shara.
Air Shara tribe. Apparently, he and his people tend to be somewhat wolf companions at time to time within this plane. I was actually rather impressed. He had managed to give me an interesting piece of information too, actually. And I thought I'd give the warning to you before anything happens. There is no animal within a couple of miles of this town, but there are 2 creatures in cloaked shadow coming here. I assume at walking speed. So I thought I may give you that warning.
Most appreciated. Looking towards Shade, Shade does nod and does state, "It's likely the vanguard leading the charge. If I had to wager, it's probably 2 children of Scarlet. Likely getting here before the storm actually hits."
Well, at least you know at least some of their numbers. That is something. Let's see. The next thing I wanted to know was, I heard something called a mage stone that might be here that can grant magical power to items. Is
She
this
just
true?
She just like points towards her book that's currently on the stone. You were never given the name until now, so you now realize that stone is that.
Oh, so that's what that is. Okay. I just thought it was a interesting conduit to the broken weave as it stands. That seems pretty impressive.
I mean, I suppose it is. It's one of the few things my book decides to connect with.
Very impressive. Well, I guess that's. Oh, is it possible that you can teach me how to utilize the stone when in your book's not using it?
Not really. I honestly just put the book down, and it does its own thing.
Oh, well, maybe that's all I have to do. Um, there is one other thing I'm looking for. I pull out the masterwork sword from the drow. I heard a long time ago there was something called trick weapons or styled weapons, and I was wondering if there were any information in the library about it, and I was hoping to modify this sword to add in an extra component to it.
I suppose it's possible if you know a decent blacksmith.
Who knows what we might find?
Well, I don't own the library, so you're more than welcome to look through its shelves.
Let's see. Anything else? I suppose I would like to look for any information. Well, this place might have information about maybe the Blood of Vol, our efforts in our search, or maybe martial skills that I could learn. Can I search the library for any of these topics?
More than welcome to.
Oh, that was actually more for the DM because what she said earlier made it sound like she wouldn't have been aware of what it was that I was looking for.
No, she wouldn't. Yeah, go ahead and roll perception checks. No, this is more investigation since you're specifically looking for these topics.
May I have that guidance or an advantage help?
It is a skill check.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. My little hummingbird flies back over. Whoop.
Yeah, and my Tolwyn will be assisting you anyways because he wants to make sure that he lets you know the information that he learned about the weapons of life and death.
Thank you very much, Tolwyn. Ah, is that so? Perhaps if I can find some more information about weapons.
All right. Tolwyn gave you advantage due to the help, and Kaithal gave you the bonus of guidance, so that is 21. Looking through the topics at hand and looking through your books, you can tell that there are a few things with trick weapons themselves. You do find that some of the trick weapons laid and outlined do seem to have like how to create pockets in your weapons to make sure that they're not brittle to break, but are able to put in and house poisons, of the nature, or perhaps some other objects. Ways to hide your things, basically. Other things leading to weapons are like how to extend the blade further than it should normally do with a trick of the wrist, and new constructions and how to create and forge these types of weapons. Basically giving the reach effect into weapons that normally wouldn't have it, and stuff like that. Nothing too major, but things that could definitely be useful. But for that, you would require a forge and to reconstruct the weapon itself. Well, not completely, but enough. You would need a workspace, and this is not a workspace.
I write down the info.
You take a small piece of paper from Talon. He forgot to put one away, and write it down. The next piece of... Oh, Service, what else were you looking for?
Blood of all information, especially about what we're searching for, what we're working towards, and the next bit was martial skills.
Looking through the works of something having to do with blood or blood of all or something of that nature, you do find something that reads to blood sacrifice, blood curse, and blood ritual. Looking through each of these topics, you do find that some of these things do correlate and connect with one another. Examining them, you can tell that when you try to look for the word of vol in there, it is mixed up in everything. So it's hard to define what it could truly mean, especially to you, someone connected with this type of topic. Looking at it, you can read that the blood of vol itself is sometimes conjured up and commune with some type of weapon or mystical object or property. Some others believe that this type of connection does prove the conjuring or the ability to reconjure godlike powers within the scope and realm that you currently exist in. Others believe that this is a way of communing with the gods in a warlike fashion, drawing the power from them, but not fully into the brink of existence within this world reality. Over the course of time, you can tell that this is more of a cursed bloodline magical effect. It's not as if it's ingrained into you, but it uses your blood with its own power to commune and fashion something that is already there, something that has been present but is awakened due to this pact, or blood pact to be precise. It is both a blessing, a technical curse, as well as a ritual.
I write down the information for future reference.
Mm-hmm. And looking through martial skill sets, there currently is none.
No martial skills? Oh,
They like
kind of-
show you like fighting stances here and there, but nothing so in depth that you would be able to like read through it and gain the skill.
Oh well, I thought. Well, Vera already gave us location from some of those artificers for finding locations of power and stuff. Let's see. Guys, can you think of anything else that we should be looking for?
Nope.
Not at all.
I don't believe so.
Over the course of time, Cerberus told when you do get that information. Told when you were there, so you gained that information as well. I suppose you don't really know why Cerberus is looking for some of the topics, but you have the information now.
Just
You
like
don't
to
have,
help.
you don't need to worry about it, Tolwyn. Some people within my it's kind of complicated to explain, but some people tend to go to the wrong direction at times in their efforts to follow the path of Vol. Some people, it can be troublesome sometimes. People like me can have some troubles trying to keep following the path, and we would have to correct them. It's the reason why the undead are more of a pathetic and sympathetic symbol to us. They're like examples of what not to do. They're sort of like sacrificial figures in a lot of ways. They help remind us of the right path.
Interesting. Oh, I'm glad you're attempting to keep yourself pure to your cause.
I'm trying. It can be pretty difficult at times. Sometimes what you see isn't what you always get.
True.
I kind of like that music. Let's see. Well, I think that's about everything I could find. Should we try enjoying the rest of our day here?
Yeah, I think like sort of when people are sort of like done thinking about not sure what to do for the rest of the day,
Mhm.
Owen would probably excuse himself since there's a bit of time left, and given the information that he's learned about the weapon of life, probably go find someplace like either like a garden area in town or just outside of town, and just spend some time sitting in a more natural setting, sort of meditating, communing, and just sort of being open to the weapon to see whether or not it wants to talk, or just at least just sort of like being available for it.
Yeah. As you begin to walk out into the area, excusing yourself, you basically have a free day to try to do whatever you decide to do. So, Toll, when you go out and maybe like ask, hey, do you know of a good place that's secluded? Some guy out just basically states, yeah, if you will go out like 5 minutes out into this outside of the city, very secluded. If you want like seclusion but within the city's area, you can always go to the bathhouse. No one's currently using it. It runs through the natural spring in the area. The only other place I can think of, I suppose, is the mayor's garden.
If the bathhouse is a natural spring, I think I'd go there actually.
I plan on going to the bathhouse too.
There you go.
Okay. Towan excuses themselves first, so they go first.
I was just making mention of it because I didn't want you to think that I was following you or anything.
Yeah, no, I actually forgot about the bathhouse from last
Yeah,
week.
It was
I'm
mentioned
sure he
like
also would take a
once.
bath as well, so he would take a bath if he could.
Okay, Tolan goes first.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So,
Coming to the
yeah, this is
bathhouse,
a.
it is
Go ahead.
massive. Uh, due to the fact that there is no other bathing area in the area, obviously it needs to be big. You do see that on the walls there are doors, and like checking them out, someone does advise you once you open the doors, curtains do pop out, and the bathhouse is divided for like uh, dividing family, people, boy, girl, other, and stuff like that. But since no one's currently taking a bath because they take it in the morning or because a storm's approaching and no one is, going to do that right now, you come into the area basically alone with a massive, massive bathhouse.
Cool. Can I tell like sort of where the spring comes from?
From what you can tell, the water itself is moving, but it's moving at a slow pace that you can't even tell or perceive where it's coming from. If you had to guess based on the way it's rippling in the middle, it's coming from the core and then expanding from out that area and then back into the ground.
All right. Well,
Ironically enough, the middle.
all right. Well, I think then Tolan would probably like um, strip down and go to the middle of the baths and like just sort of like sit in the water with the weapon of life like sort of held in his hands and just seeing as this like if his natural spring like water is sort of this life-giving thing um, and just sit there and meditate on the weapon.
All right. You begin to focus in and commune with the weapon itself, trying to harbor in some type of strength within each other. Rather than dividing, you try to commune and connect with it. Tolwyn, is there anything specific you're trying to do? Like maybe speak with it, maybe trying to give your own viewpoint in things right now, or anything like that?
I guess like yeah, I think I'd be trying to speak with it since I was told it might be alive and be able to talk. So I probably I think I'd probably like meditate and commune with it and maybe like try to like since I'm alone I guess just speak out loud and say introduce myself like I'm Tolwyn, are you there?
All right. I'm gonna have to look at your character sheet. Give me 1 second. Okay. Communing with this weapon and then harboring in your strength into the weapon itself. It binding with you and you binding with it. You ask out loud and simply speak in your tone. And soon after, you don't hear a voice out loud, but you do hear one within your mind, a almost whispering phantasm just simply stating, "What is it in life that you seek?" You're not sure if it means it literally or metaphorically?
Right. What is it in life that you seek? I think so. I guess Tolan would probably just not knowing what else to say would answer. I wish to be the change that must happen.
In your mind, in your mind's vision, in your mind's own communication, a weird way of phrasing it, but I did it anyways. You begin to hear the voice once more, and in that whispering tone, it does state, "Change in what direction?"
Harmony.
Balance? Question mark.
Yes.
I see. Would you allow me to pry into the mind?
Please do.
All right. You begin to feel a sensation within your mind, similar to that of the spell that is able to, actually, I don't know if Tolan would know that. You begin to feel something prying into your mind and into your memories. Soon after, you feel memory after memory after memory coming to the surface of your own mindscape, as if you're remembering things, but it's more like someone or something is pushing into your mind and drawing these things forwards to the surface. You then feel your very core nature, your very being presented. It's a simple flash of memory, but it's the very first memory you have, or at least the one you feel should be your first. As you simply feel your presence being seen for the first time, your very essence being drawn out into the world for the first time, you do hear crying, but it's not outside from your own self, but rather from yourself. In your vision, you do see 5 people, and 2 of them do appear like the individuals you would consider your mother and father. Looking around you, you do see 3 other people, though. One is likely the person that took care of your mother during that time. The other one is likely the person that drew you out, basically the doctor. And the last one you're not entirely sure of. In fact, you've never seen this person before. Never in your life and never anything like that of any situation. Drawing in on these people, they seem familiar to you. You've seen your doctor whenever you've had to deal with things. In fact, this I say doctor, but it's more a druid. But I'm going to continue to use the word doctor. This doctor, in fact, is the person that helped you during your first steps into your own natural talents, into the bringing of world and life itself. Much less, though, you've seen the person that has also been being taught under this druid as well. Basically, the person that was taking care of your mother during that time of labor. You've obviously seen your mother and father during that time as well, but you've never saw that 5th last person. But in your mind, you keep going back. That first vision, that first line of life into this world, you then see and feel that beating sensation draw back to the surface once more, as if it saw what it needed to see. And it draws back into the memories one by one, bringing them back down. As you go back down into those memories, you feel those memories in your mindscape once more. But that 5th person, that weird sensation, draws into each and every one of those memories. And it's that 5th person once more, always there, always present. And then finally, those memories intertwine and interlap back into your mind, where they usually and always are. But now you feel presence that was always there. Always there, have yet, however, to truly touch, truly see, truly ever interact with, and then back into your current state, you do feel a sensation just being drawn out from you. Not something's being taken away, but something being released. And in that nature and in that moment, you do hear that voice once more. And the first steps have been taken.
I do not understand.
The first steps of life and time.
Interesting. So am I aware that a person has been added to all these memories, or is it just like I now just remember them always being there, but I'm not sure who they are?
Roll nature.
Okay.
Advantage, because it's kind of your thing.
Okay. 21.
Looking through this thinking, looking through this, this person was added. No, that's not necessarily true. This person was always there. It's not as if someone or this weapon of life brought something or someone into your memory. It's more as if it gave you the foresight or the insight that this thing or person was always there. And looking at this very natural thing, the very things you do, it's not a person, it's a presence. A presence that's
Right.
always been in your life, but you've never really communed to a great extent. You've always drawn towards it, always seen and been giving a blessing, but you've never physically seen this person until today. And then looking at this, when it mentioned the first steps have been taken of life and time are likely the things that it is symbolizing or the things that it is drawing you towards. And then the first steps taking of life and time, it hits you. The first step of life is when you're born, when you've obviously been drawn into the world. And time, well, it's like the first thing many people see when you begin your life and the clock starts moving forwards. That presence of time is likely the thing you're seeing now in a physical form.
Very cool.
And life, you've always drawn from it, so it's already there.
All right. The Tolwyn will thank thank the object. I guess like he doesn't really even think of it as necessarily as just like a weapon. Like it is a weapon, but it seems like a lot more to him. And asks it if it has a name.
I am known as Life, but many others call me by many other names. You may give me one of your own choosing if you'd like.
Well, Life seems very appropriate. So if it doesn't bother you, I will simply call you that.
Very well. Tolwyn, to be specific, you have been granted the gift known as Time Reversal. It's not some incredible mega strength power, but it is something good. Once per day, you're able to turn back time on an individual's body, up to a minute. You're able to do this once a day, recharge on a long rest. The property is you can reverse something of that within a minute's time. So if someone was diseased, if someone was killed, or something of that nature, less violent perhaps. Maybe someone accidentally cheated or slapped someone in the face, you can reverse that minute. It would go back in time, and that point in time would no longer be relevant. That person would no longer be stabbed, that person would no longer be slapped, that person would no longer be dead.
Hey. Time reversal.
Up to a minute.
Once per day. Yeah. Once per day, reverse effects of time on one person by a minute.
Yes.
All right. Very cool.
It's not a spell, it's quite literally an effect. So no one can technically cancel it, which is the strongest thing and the most terrifying thing to a DM. In the meantime, Tolwyn, while you're connecting and communing, I suppose probably people jump into the bath.
No, actually.
No, actually.
What I planned on doing was, along to the bath, I would grab some lunch, go to Lana, grab some food, some drink, and eat it on the way here. But I'd also hold. I had planned on doing a small ritual. Once I get to the bath, I'm going to go to a private bath.
All right. You open one of the drawer doors that basically make a section of private bath.
I take out the. I had actually planned on doing something similar to what Tone was going to do, but I was going to make reference to my faith, and I was going to try to do the same thing. What he was doing, I was going to nick my finger, draw out some blood, write some of the symbols upon my body, and just lay in the water while holding onto the weapon, and just try emptying my mind and try speaking out to it, since he told this thing might be alive.
Which specific weapon are you trying to do this with?
The death weapon.
Oh, that's right. Kaith, I'll give it to you. Huh. That's an interesting way of doing it, though.
Blood of Vol.
Yes. What do you say? And what exactly you're trying to do, other than the same exact thing Tolwyn's trying to do?
Well, I didn't want it to be the exact same.
I know.
The reason why I'm doing it in privacy is because those who follow the path of Vol, each individual person, has their own path. It's supposed to represent symbolically my path. The part of the whole privacy thing. I will speak out to the weapon. I will ask, "Are you there? Will you speak to me?"
You hear a voice within your mind. It's similar to a voice you've heard. It's similar to something you've seen before, but you've never given it a voice, actually. You've only ever felt it within your surroundings whenever you've had to see someone die or something has been killed in front of you. Looking at this and feeling it within your mind, you feel a different sensation. Uh, Obviously, you don't know what Tolwyn felt, but you do feel a strange sensation within your body. Something harbored there, but it's not foreign. Uh, and it does feel like the weapon, but also not. But you do hear the voice simply stating towards you in a more raspy sensation. And what of death do you seek?
I seek understanding and acceptance for all. I seek to bring a greater balance, awareness in the deepest reaches of every individual, so we would truly understand each other in ways that mere words can never bring.
Ah, man. Service, I feel like you should have gotten the life weapon.
Well, I had to kill a whole bunch of people in order to spare the world from its cancer.
No, I get that, Service. I'm not saying that. It just... Those questions are more served for the life weapon.
Well, I had to kill all those people because all those people were psychos.
Again, I get that. Don't get me wrong. Death sees different things than you as a person would see things. You know what? I may Towan roll something, but I'm gonna try to see if I can work with this. Persuasion. Nice. Okay, good. I didn't want to give you nothing. Looking towards this and given the information you have sought or seek, trying to have everyone understand things, you do hear the death weapon simply state, all things in life seek an understanding, and in the end, some may have it, others may not. But the only understanding that they should seek is that every mortal life must end. I am death. Death is ever present, ever a worry to those of mortal coils. That is what they should seek, and that is their understanding that they should fear. Are you asking for fear?
I pause for a moment. I'm asking what comes after fear. I want to go even further beyond it.
After death.
Is that a question?
Oh, right, sorry, I forgot. Yeah, question mark.
Yes, even beyond that.
After death, there is nothing. Some may have a new life, and then the cycle repeats once more. But many others are simply drawn into the ground and have nothing else waiting for them.
Is this world DM not aware of the cycle of life and death, or is it like completely broken? Because in DnD, as I recall, as a player, reincarnation and afterlife is a well-known concept.
You know that this world kind of got messed up a while ago, so I'm gonna leave this one for you. You don't even have to roll. Service Tolman, Kaithal, Taylor, you all know this, so I'm just gonna say it anyways. You know this world got messed up a while ago. The gods usually are the ones to remedy reincarnation, life and death, bringing someone's soul back into their body if someone is resurrected, making sure that that power is drawn out from somewhere, like the weave, celestial blessings, demonic blessings, and etc., curses and blessings, whichever one. With the world messed up the way it is, reincarnation is, even in the power that life and death wield, hard to do without someone backing you up in your corner. So without a god of life and a god of death, the concepts had to make do with what they've got. So they continue to make the cycle, bring back people from the dead, and some people stay dead and have nothing to look forward to. It's kind of morbid if you ever truly think about it. Uh, whichever way you want to think, honestly. But you can tell that life and death are currently limited because they only have so much power they can draw from. The concept of life and death do have a good amount of power, don't get me wrong, but they are not able to fully bring anyone and everyone back. Without the celestial powers that the gods wielded, they only have as much strength as they currently have, which does bring in new information. If only so many people can be brought back into the cycle of life, the population is growing lower and lower each year. Sure, it'll take a while for it to become zero, but not everyone is being brought back, and that's new information Service now has.
Shouldn't new souls well, I don't fully understand how souls come and go. Well, I don't think it was ever explained, but souls have to come from somewhere. So
New souls and stuff like that are brought into life and are resurrected and stuff like that. But that's usually involving making them, creating them, and things like that. Usually in D&D, the gods do that.
this world is getting even more fucked.
Yeah.
So to answer, can you repeat the most recent question?
Basically, they asked after death ? And then you said yes, and then it said there is nothing after life for many. Some may receive resurrection and rebirth, but many do not. Something around that line.
I understand. I know this. I accept this.
Service, you come from a different world. You don't know this, but you know it now, and you can totally lie. It's perfectly fine.
No, I mean that I accept what he's saying.
Yes.
That I understand what he's saying, and I accept it, and I can even agree.
Then what is it that you asked from death?
I ask for a means to bring the understanding that I seek. If you'd be so willing to work alongside me.
Add a game. What do you mean by that?
Okay, I'm pretty sure I've messaged you about my bio. Maybe I'm not using the right words because even I'm kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel with the way of describing it. I come from a pocket dimension, if I can call it that, that is completely fucked up in the head. The whole shebang of all sorts of weird evil. And my character wishes to ensure something like that does not ever happen again. So he goes around trying to help people with understanding, acceptance. It's one reason why he works so hard in the Underdark, because you can see it's going to start getting to be bad eventually, probably in another 1,000 years. So he worked so hard to ensure it wouldn't happen. And now he continues to do so. And he knows very well that death is going to be a necessary component to ensure that all sorts of continuously flourishing of life and death, a continuous cycle, a continuous understanding of consequences, all of that good stuff must come, and he wants to ensure it does.
Okay. Death will give you something, but it might not be what you desire or what you asked for.
It's fine. I was just trying to get a better relationship anyways.
Okay. Given this information and looking through this topic, death does state in your own mind. I will peer into your heart. It's not asking, but do you allow it willfully or do you try to reject it?
I embrace it.
All right. It begins, unlike movement, this thing pierces into your memories, into the very foundation of your existence. It gets through each and everything over and over and over again. You feel these memories being drawn out, being brought back. Some that you don't fully remember. And then it hits you at the very start of your life once more. You feel your first sensation, you feel your first memory, but something about that doesn't feel right. It's not your first memory, it's something, a premonition more or less of something that is to come. You see someone on the ground heavily bleeding on the right side. Looking up, you do see four individuals around you. You can see some of them similar faces of Talon, Tolwyn, Kythal, but the fourth one you don't remember. I'm excluding familiars, by the way, and or constructs. But the fourth one doesn't seem familiar to you. Whatever this thing is, it's haunting you. It's near you, but no one else seems to be near it. You can't really make out a face, but it is there. It is present. And then you feel that memory just ripped from your mind and being drawn into your memory once more. Everything begins to forcibly stack upon each other. And then you feel a glimpse of a memory long since dead, of long since forgotten. You see four individuals around you. You feel them dead on the ground. It's faces, family members that you've seen before, people that you prevented from hurting another. The person next to you, you feel an embrace of celestial energy, some connection and some power drawing from them. It's not as if they are this power, but are oozing it out from some other form of nature. And this warmth, this sensation, this feeling, you've never felt this before, and you remember this presence in time. It was the first time you've felt this. It was the first time you felt that something was wrong within your own surroundings. And before you fully grasp this person within your mindscape, you see the golden locked hair, the almost porcelain skin, and those red eyes before the memory is ripped from you once more until the memories of the current present are there, overlapping them once more. You forget most of the memories except for that one, and then you are back in the present once more. And then Death states, and that is the end. And this is where your fear will begin. And then you don't feel anything else once more. You feel a chill within your spine and something click. Service. You have been granted, unfortunately, as long as you hold the weapon of death, you are able to stop someone's heart. Whether consciously or unconsciously, it does not matter because you now have been granted this gift. You are able to sever someone's connection from their cycle of life, meaning that they can't be brought back, they can't be revivified, they can't be naturally, what's it called? Reincarnated into the world. Ultimately, death has given you the ability to stop evil spirits from being re-brought and reintroduced into this world once more. Whether or not their life would have been better and they've been a different person in the next life, that does not matter.
I can perma-kill demons now?
In theory, if you find a demon.
Thank you, Death. I accept your help and your aid in this trial.
Do not expect much more. Unlike life, death is a little more moody.
I understand. Enjoy the show.
That out of game though. It doesn't not like you. It's just moody. But eventually, Kythal, Talon. I'm gonna say Kythal does a cannonball. I feel like they would after like removing their armaments from them.
I totally would. Absolutely, without a second thought.
Doing so washes away one of the curtains. After obviously everything happened.
I splutter and wiggle a little bit. Oh man, that was a pretty big splash.
I ate a lot earlier for breakfast.
The day basically passes without too much issue. Do you guys decide or tend to do anything else? You guys have
Oh.
like a couple hours before everyone heads down, like 2 hours. So up to you.
Well, I would like to know what the letter says.
Yeah. Everyone converging or coming back. Service. You put the section markers away. You guys, well, Service, you unfurled your envelope. I'm assuming Talon gave you yours, and Talon held on to theirs. I don't know why I'm making so triumphant music here. New
That's
music,
fine.
trying to figure it out.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go with the tavern one.
So let's see what the guy in the tower has to say.
I'm not gonna do it in his way of speaking or writing because it would be annoying. So I'm just gonna give you the details. Eventually, you find the note easily, just fine. Opening it up, it is written in common, so you're all able to read it if you can read common. Currently, they are constructing tools and the like to try to help out with this current endeavor. So long as they are able to, but right now they're very extremely busy. That's not the way they phrase it, but I'm going to do it that way. So they do have 2 more dowel rods if you guys are able to pick them up. Unfortunately, they do not have time to deliver them to you. However, they are looking into the topics at hand of which you speak of and have given you a small letter. It's a, like, in the envelope, there's also a small little red letter. It's not quite literally a letter you can read. It's a red letter. Like the letter, I believe his name was... Sorry, I need to look this up. It's like a big K. Kata was his name. On the letter, it does state, present this red letter to the school of which you, to a school, business or other, for them to help out, and my family will take care of the monetary value of transference, whatever that means. But more than likely means you basically get to pay with this once, and you're good to go.
Financial backer.
At least once.
I nod. Huh. We'll probably use this in the future if we survive what's coming up next. I put it away safely. So apparently they are working on some of the stuff that we sent them. I kind of was hoping they may have gotten some more information about the storms, but at least they know about what's inside these storms and what they might mean. So that's good to know. Oh, did his bodyguard write anything, like over the shoulder or something?
You look around. On the back of the letter you just read, there is something there. It does read that his bodyguard does state, it'll take him far longer than 3 days to go over everything you've given him, but we will have some information on the next time you decide to either send a letter or come over. So they are working on that. It's just, unfortunately, it'll take longer than 3 days for someone to learn a little bit more.
Perhaps we should, if we manage to survive what's coming up next, we should give them a visit.
Or send a letter. Whichever
I
one.
believe that's a good idea.
So,
See where the
Talon.
gods lead us.
Indeed. So, Talon, want to share what your letter was for?
It was a family letter, Talon, in case you forgot.
Did you tell me like what it meant? Like
You basically stated, hello, Mother. How have you been? Currently, everything is proceeding as planned. I'm currently looking for the weapon and have found the weapon. Unfortunately, Father has met there untimely, and you don't give specifics. How are sister and brother doing in their own studies? It's basically a family letter you give out that states, I have done the task that I am seeking to do, but currently helping out these individuals for helping me in my own endeavors.
did they like respond at all or
They did.
Like,
They sent you a letter, and Service just asked you. So anything on your end? You can open it and
Nope.
see what it has. Okay.
Yeah, I want to open it. I want to see what it says.
Okay. You obviously read it, and everyone else does not know this, but I'm not going to say leave. So I'm going to say it, and everyone else pretend you didn't hear it.
Hmm.
In the message, it does seem to have your mother's filigree handwriting. It's very pretty, very nice. The card itself inside the envelope is made out of platinum leaf, so very expensive and over expensive. You can probably sell the letter, honestly, for 5 gold. But looking at it, you can tell that your mother is currently talking in topics at hand, like someone doing business rather than talking with their son. Your mother does write down. Understood. It does come to my attention that currently your endeavors are important to you. However, do not be too far away, as family matters will likely pick up during the time of solstice. Your brother and sister are currently working on their end, so I do not expect you to be any lesser than those two. It is a shame your father could not see you on this time and day of solstice, when your sister will be betrothed to the one we seek. Nevertheless, you are to attend the coronation and the coming of age ceremony for your youngest sister. Do not be late, or else there will be reprimands to be had. Sincerely yours, and then your mother's name. It's clinical. It's precise. It's
Does it give a date? Like how long away from today?
a month and a half. You guys have time. Well, Talon, you have time. She
I
did
just
mention
like
the
put the letter
solstice.
away, and I'm like, you guys want to go to a wedding?
Coming of age.
Coming of age, you mean? I think it was betrothed.
Yeah.
To be betrothed.
Basically, I'm going to say this out loud. Talon, you would know this. Everyone else, you don't have to listen. You can if you want to. Talon, you're basically rich. Your sister is coming of age, basically meaning she is able to be wed. More than fairly, rich people usually have like people, suitors set up to go beforehand. So when she comes of age, more than likely the time of courtship will likely happen, and they likely have like a few people here and there that are like going to court.
Let's see.
It's the rich people way of going, hey, do you want to marry my daughter, and like I gain a lot of your land, but you gain prestige and stuff like that? Or like, we both have prestige, so let's improve it by having a connection family-wise. It's more of a business transaction normally than love.
Yep.
But you know, that's what you do.
Yep, I know.
But yeah, it's a month and a half when the solstice hits. The solstice is usually when the sun is at its zenith. I could be wrong. I'll look that up later. But there's basically an eclipse that happens that during the time of solstice, people begin to sing, dance, and the coronation for coming of age happens during that time.
I just put like on the letter back. But mom.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's like.
That was good.
All right.
Anyway.
Uh,
and return.
And return.
Post date. No, I don't. I'm like, wait, come back.
Yeah.
And you're like, let me see that. Then I rip it up.
You
what were you
rip-
thinking? And I slap him with it. Idiot. Get out of here. He's like, ah. But then I tip him like 2 gold or something.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's-
Sorry. Sorry about that.
You do this all in the messenger's hall. So when Cerberus says this in the bath, you're basically saying, "Nah, I'm fine. You want to go to a wedding?" And then you go, "Ah, never mind."
Could be cool.
Could be cool. Again,
I like everything.
Sure, why
I
not?
like that about you. Because I hate everything.
that is
Right.
in a month and a half, so you guys have time. In the meantime, speaking of time, hour left. Do you guys do anything before the city basically vacates underground?
I go to the tavern, give Lana goodbyes in case we don't manage to see her again, and tell her that I look forward to hearing her sing for me again. and I take a quick bite to eat, and I go. Where should we go on top of a building or maybe a high rise, something like that?
Perhaps maybe just stand at the edge. We know that there's. You said that there apparently is 2 sort of scouts on their way here. We should probably stand outside the city limits, prepared to meet them. I'd rather any. Personally, I'd rather any fighting happen outside the city rather than inside. I damaged a building already opening the puzzle.
Very
Who
well.
cares? We might have some cover inside, unless we can find some cover outside. We need to make sure we can have somewhere to at least fall back to.
There's like
Yeah, I don't mean go far. I mean just like literally right at the edge.
as,
So at the city gate.
as mentioned beforehand,
Okay.
there's literally no cover outside of the city.
Yeah.
So the city gate, we should do.
I can dig us a moat.
Don't.
All right. You guys have your nice meal, have your good breakfast for dinner. I'm gonna say. Lana does come over towards Cerberus. They like leave for about 30 minutes. Come back. Lana, smile on her face. Tells Cerberus what opening she'll be at in case they want to do something else. More on that probably, maybe we'll see. Again, Lana knows that this is a fling kind of thing, unless Cerberus wants to take this more serious. But obviously, travelers, so Lana's cool with whatever. That being the case, though, your
Right.
team does take another bath, maybe, and then come back and reconvene at the city gates. At this point in time, you are able to get there without too much of an issue. In fact, most of the people are heading inside. You can see that some of them are rounding corners that they normally don't take. You've been here for a couple days, so you've seen the patterns here and there of what people do. The streets are basically vacated by the time you arrive at the city gates. Do you wait until they arrive, or do you do something?
I try looking out for them.
After a good 2 hours after everyone vacates, they are within
I'm not
scope.
familiar, like flying out in front of the city, I guess.
Yeah.
The way we think they're coming.
Yeah, after a good 2 hours after everyone vacates underground, you do in the horizon line see 2 people. They look humanoid as they have the bodies of humanoids heading towards your direction. So you do see them, but they're so far away that unless you can sprint a mile out within 6 seconds, you wouldn't be able to catch them. They are coming towards you, though.
I stand in front of my compatriots to be their shield, and I wait for them.
All right. Another hour later, because
Well-
they're walking.
I don't have any.
I guess I'll magic missile them when they get within 120 feet.
We don't even know if they're the enemies yet or not. I think we should wait. You can hold it.
No, I want to shoot no skin. I guess. I'm like, wait, we can shoot them from far away. Fuck it, shoot 'em.
I mean, you can. I suppose you can get as far as Kaihol is.
No,
Why not? Okay.
I'm gonna stay back there.
As soon as you begin to stay back there, and Tolwyn, Cerberus, and Kaithal prepare themselves in their own nature, Kaithal getting behind, what are those? Clay pots to make sure that they have some sort of backing behind them. You do feel a sensation of people walking towards you, and that vibration of that weird sensation when you saw the last 3 children of Scarlet that you've seen beforehand. When they walk forwards towards you, one of them does remove their hood. They're at the city gates. There's no stopping that now. One of them does seem to be more or less, from what you can tell, a Oni. Not a tiefling, but an Oni itself with horns similar to that of a tiefling, but they seem more, not strong, but fierce. They do seem to have a good understanding of what they are and what they do, with heavy weapons around them and not heavy clad armor, but you can see that the armor itself does wear out a body if you didn't have the strength for it. This individual seems to be a very capable fighter, if not just strong. As soon as the next one approaches inside the city gate. They themselves remove their hood, revealing that of a kitsune, male. The individual does stand at roughly 5'9", which is actually kind of tall for a kitsune. But looking towards you, they seem to have the same red eyes. Both of them do. That the Children of Scarlet do possess. Red eyes is not necessarily Children of Scarlet, but that same presence behind the eyes gives you that feeling. The Kitsune man does seem to be slimmer and sleeker than the woman. Definitely has a more agile movement towards them. And when they see you, the Kitsune man does speak in what appears to be primordial. Do any of you understand?
Yes.
I do not.
Oh.
Most minute meteors. Talon, are you like preparing this around you?
Yeah.
All right. As they're speaking in primordial, Talon, you just cast mouse minute meteors, and they emerge around you. I think you get like 6 of
I
them.
would just, yeah, it lasts for 10 minutes. I guess I didn't put the duration there. I'll fix that.
It's like lasting for 10
But
minutes.
yeah, I would have done it like, like once I saw them like both come out, I'm like, okay, yeah, fix it.
Yeah. Looking towards you, the Kitsune man does speak primordial, told when you know, everyone else doesn't understand. So when they do state, it does seem we have a welcome party this time. Funny, I thought everyone would be underground by now. It'd be so much easier if they were.
Children with Scarlet, state your business.
Then you hear the Kitsune man state, common. In common. I suppose it's...
I can speak in
more
Celestial if
fair.
you prefer.
Well, then, if you're smart, it should be an interesting chat. Whether or not you believe that's a threat, Talon is prepared. Kaithal is prepared distance-wise. Tolwyn and Cerberus are prepared more or less. Whatever happens now, you are definitely heading towards what appears to be the most danger you have faced in this town. 3 days you've had time to relax, study, learn, grow in your own skills. So what happens now? Well, you've prepared as long as possible, or the way you want to, and let's hope that is enough to deal with the threat at hand. We'll figure that one out next time, as we end the
We're gonna be-
session for today.